right, guys. So it is recorder time. Are you ready? Because I am. So I'm at the school right now because I had to come get my recorder. But I'm going to go over some different rules about the recorder. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So welcome to Recorder Karate. Let me make this a little bigger. Welcome to Recorder Karate. Now that you are fifth graders, we are going to start our recorders, obviously, and the method that I use is Recorder Karate. So we'll get more into that in a second. Rules and expectations. Label your recorder and the case with the permanent marker. So most of you have gotten a recorder and it came in a case. So if you have one, put your name on the case only for right now. Let's just put it on the case. And that's for when you come back to school. You don't want to lose your recorder. I'm hoping you don't want to lose your recorder. So you're going to go ahead and label that so it can be easier to find it if you actually lose it. Next, it says the rest position when we're in class, but also if we're on Zoom doing recorders, I'll say rest position, and that means your recorder goes in your lap and waiting for the next instruction. Ready position is when you hold your recorder and it is as if you're about to play and no sound should be made. So what I mean by that, I'm going to take out my recorder and I'm just going to hold it up right here. And I'll even hold it up to my chin. Now, I don't think any sound should come from my chin because I can't blow from my chin. So, which is why I keep it here at my chin. So that's our ready position. Now, when I cut you off, and this is in class again, I'll cut you off and go like this. So we'll practice that another time. So this just means to stop. And keep your recorder clean. So I'm going to show you how to keep your recorder clean. If you received the recorder from me in the package, you probably also got a stick. So this stick, you're going to actually take a piece of tissue, which I don't have with me right now. So I'm going to use my mask. You're going to take tissue, and there's a little slit in the cleaning rod. This is called a cleaning rod. You're going to try to put that tissue between that slit and try to pull it through if you can. Again, I don't have any tissue, so I'm just working with what I have right now. So you can take it. Okay, so I have it in. And you're going to take your recorder at the bottom of it. You're going to stick the rod in with the tissue in there. It's probably not going to go in because my mask is kind of thick. But you're going to stick the cleaning rod with the tissue still attached inside of the recorder, twist it around a little bit, and then pull it out. And then you throw that tissue in the trash because all of your saliva is going to be built up in here after we're done playing. So you want to make sure it's all clean. And make sure it's dry at all times when you're finished because it can leave mildew or little nasty mold in it. So we don't want that to happen because that is unsanitary. So we want to make sure our recorder is clean at all times. All right, we don't have to worry about this because we're not in the classroom yet. Okay, so what is recorder karate? Recorder karate is where students will have to work for belts or yarn when you get back to school to show progress. Now, from here on out, since we're on Zoom, I'm going to keep track of your name and I'm going to put next to your name what belt you earned. So just like karate, you have to do a test in order to get your new belt. So this is how it will look when you come back to school. But I'm going to keep track over here on my own and I'll show it to you weekly when we get started with that. So next thing it says, you'll be tested on rhythm, length of note value, and correct notes played. And that'll be a huge part of how the belts are to be earned. So now the first 2 or 3 belts, I won't be so strict, but after maybe the 3rd belt, I'm going to start being a little stricter. You'll notice I'll be looking for more, okay? So we'll get more into that. How to play the recorder. Gentle air is super important. So when I say gentle air, do I mean like this? No, that's not gentle air. So we want to act like we're blowing hot tea. So when we blow hot tea, we don't want to blow it too hard, because what can happen? The hot tea can just bounce back on your face or hit you in the face, and it's going to burn you, right? So we don't want that to happen. So we're going to blow gentle air. So it's going to go, all right? So not super hard, but gentle air. So notice when I play my recorder, I'm going to play one note. I'm going to play it with gentle air, and I'm going to play it with rough or hard air, okay? All right, so here's the first one. This is when you don't have gentle air. That's not a good sound. It's not a good sound. It actually hurts my ears, and it will probably hurt your brother and sister's ears. When we get back in the room, it'll hurt your peers and your classmates' ears. So we don't want that to happen. So in order to have your gentle air, just like you're blowing hot tea, it should sound just like this. Like, doesn't that sound so much better? Miss Whitfield thinks it does. So remember, we're going to do gentle air. Next one says left hand is always on top. So a lot of people, I've had many fifth graders say, I can't do the left hand. We're going to do the left hand on top always. Now, you may tell me that you are right-handed, so is Miss Whitfield, but I still have that recorder in my left hand. So always try to have it in your left hand. Cover hose completely with the flat part of your finger. So if you notice on our recorders, we have different holes. And when we get to different notes, we're going to actually learn a new note, well, 3 new notes today. So you're going to put down your finger. Let's say I need you to put down your first finger. You're going to take the whole flat part of your finger and cover that entire hole. So if you don't cover the entire hole, let's say I cover half of it. That's not the note that I want, okay? So you got to make sure you cover it the whole way. Also, this will help with no squeaking. So a lot of my fifth graders have had issues with squeaking, and the main reason why was because they were not covering their holes all the way. So I always had to say, make sure your holes are covered, make sure your holes are covered. So I'm going to do the same with you. So once you put your finger down, squeeze just a little bit, not squeeze it to the point where you're hurting your finger, but just put down, squeeze, and then blow. As you can see, that sounds better than it being halfway or not fully covered. That sounds different. So we want to make sure we cover the entire hole. All right. Also, like if you see when I say to squeeze, I have kind of an indent on my finger. I don't know if you can see it, but there you go. You can see kind of a little indent in my finger because I squeezed down on the hole. That means that I covered the entire hole, okay? And last but not least, we'll go over tonguing. Tonguing means to keeping a separation between each note. So if I say I want you to play the same note 4 times, I don't want it to sound like this. No, that's not what I wanted to sound like. So tonguing, you're going to try to go doo, doo inside your recorder as you're blowing. So inside my recorder, I'm going doo, 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 doo. All right, so let's try it. Let's see if it sounds different. Did that sound different to you? Did it sound different than this? I think it did. So we want to make sure we always do with your tongue. So you're going to try to make your tongue hit the top of your teeth. Do, do, do. All right. So you can practice that on your own time. And here are our belt colors. So the very first belt we're going to earn is a white belt. As you can see, I have my white belt. The first song in order to get your white belt is Hot Cross Buns. So a lot of you in your take-home kit, you receive some music. So the first music or the first sheet of music that we're going to focus on is Hot Cross Buns, okay? So if you have that, go ahead and pull that out now, okay? So let's talk about how you can earn belts from me. We're going to go over, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to do different videos of how to play the songs and what to do with your music and how to practice. And then once you feel confident enough, only when you feel confident enough, you're going to send me a video of you playing your recorder on Schoology. So right now my Padlet is not working, unfortunately. So until I get that up and running, you're going to send me a video of you playing Hot Cross Buns via video. Now, there are other songs, like let's say we get to the Yellow Belt song, Gently Sleep. Should you send me a video of you playing Gently Sleeping before you pass Hot Cross Buns? No, in order to get your yellow belt, you have to get your white belt. So we're not going to skip around. So once you get your white, let's say you'd want to go for the purple belt. No, you can't do that because you're learning different things each song in order to be successful with the next song. So we're going to go in order. So it's going to go white, yellow, orange, green, purple, blue, red, brown, and last but not least, the black belt. When you get to the black belt, that is like the best thing you could do. So that is your biggest success, and you have passed recorder karate. So when you get to the black belt, you'll get a certificate from me, and I may even throw you a pizza party when we're back in school. We'll do something special for all of our black belt folks, but I have a feeling that all of you will get to a black belt. So let's get started. With all of that being said, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and, shoot me a message on Schoology, anything like that if you need anything, okay? Or if you ever need help with your recorder, you can just send me, a message on Schoology, and we'll talk about what you need, all right? So I'm going to exit out of this. Oh, actually, no, I thought that was the last slide. So let's go back. So we're going to learn our first 3 notes. So also in your folder that I sent home, the black folder, you will have a recorder fingering chart. So this is going to help you learn the different notes on the recorder. So, but here I have it up here that we can use. So the very first note, it's on the 3rd line. If you remember, every good boy does fine. So what would our 3rd note be? If it's on the 3rd line, what note would that be? Every good B, correct. So you probably saw it up here. So we're going to learn B. Now, if you see, there is always a closed hole over here. So what that means, there should be, sorry, I didn't go over this, but when you have all of the holes, like there are more than one holes, you're going to face that part away from you. So what should be facing you is this part of your recorder, and there should be one hole in the back. So that should be facing you. All right. So when this hole is dark or when it's colored like that, that means your thumb should be covering the back hole, okay? So again, make sure the whole flat part of your thumb is covering that back hole. So I cover my back hole, and then I'm going to put down my first finger. So in recorders and music with the recorder right now, this will be our first finger. Our index finger will be the first. So you put down that first finger, kind of like a pinch. So this is what it should look like. Your B, all right? So this is B, and we're gonna blow together. Well, actually, I don't want you to blow with me, blow after me, okay? So here we go. Very good. So again, that note is B. All right, let's move on to the next note, because all 3 of these notes is how you're going to be successful with the first 3 songs, because the first 3 songs we're only using these 3 notes. So let's move on. This is on our second space. If you remember from our video, our spaces spell the word face. So if we're looking at the second space, what is the second letter in face for us to find out what note this is? A, correct. So A if you look down, how many fingers are we adding? So we already have our B. Don't move your fingers. We already have our B. Now, what about when we do the A? How many fingers do we add? 1, right. So you're going to put your second finger or your middle finger down on the second hole. So just like we did for the B, you're just putting down your middle finger, but make sure you're still holding down. Well, your flat part is covering the hole. And you're always going to keep your thumb down, okay? You're not going to move your thumb at all. Always keep that there. So our A, this is how it goes. Repeat after me. Good. And remember, if you're listening, I'm still doing the do, 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 do. So hopefully you're tonguing while you're playing. So listen one more time. Good job. So that is our A. And our last note that we have is on our second line. So if you remember this song, every good boy does fine, what would be our second line? G, very good, G. So we're only adding one more finger, and that is going to be our ring finger or our third finger. Put it down on the next hole. So you're covering the first 3 holes for G. And don't forget your thumb in the back. So pinky is up. Do not put the pinky down. There we go. Play the G after me. Good job, guys. So those are your first 3 notes, okay? So what I want you to do is I'm going to play a song and we're going to actually use our different notes. But first, before we do that, let's practice by saying it. Sometimes I'll have you saying the notes as you're fingering. So when I say fingering, we're not blowing. That's just us going through the notes while saying the note name as we're putting our fingers down. So for example, this right here is a B. Everybody go ahead and put your B. All right, now do an A. Now do a G. Very good. So everybody, if I said G, we should have all 3 fingers down along with our thumb. Now show me a B again. B, very good. If you can't see, you can look at the finger chart. Now put down an A. Now G. Now let's play all 3 of those after me. Play it after me. Listen. Play. So I did B, A, G, do that. Do it one more time. Listen. B, A, G, play that. Good job, guys. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and find my recorder. When you repeat after me, we're going to do each note. And I have to find it. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I had it all together. All right, here we go. So there's going to be a guy. He's going to tell you the note first, and then you're going to play after him. So the first note we're going to focus on is B. So we're only doing B. Here we go. Listen.
B, 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 B.
Go.
B, B, B. B, 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 B. B, 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 B. Nice start. Let's do it again.
Do it one more time.
B, 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 B. B, B, B. B, 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 B. B, 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 B.
Good job, y'all. Let's go ahead and work on our A. So show me an A. Good. If you have only your thumb and 2 fingers down, you are correctamundo. So let's go ahead and do our A. We're only working with the A. Listen first.
A, 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 A. A, 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 A. A, 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 A. A, 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 A. Ready? Let's repeat them now. A, 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 A. A, 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 A. A, 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 A. A, 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 A.
Good job, you guys. All right, let's move on to our last note to work on is the G. Let's do the G. So if you remember, G is 3 fingers down with our thumb. So you can look at your finger chart or you can look up here at the finger chart as we do it. Here we go.
G, G, G. G, 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 G. G, 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 G. G, G.
Good job.
One more time, and here we go. G, G, G. G, 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 G. G, 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 G. G, G.
Awesome job, you guys. Awesome job. So I want you to practice. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I want you to practice. Well, you can watch this video multiple times if you would like to. But if you want to move on to hot cross buns, you can do that as well. So how I do hot cross buns, I have to look down and it says new things to learn for the white belt song. It says half note equals 2 beats. I guess I'll show you. Half note equals 2 beats. So our half note is an open circle. And then our quarter note, we've gone over this multiple times. This is our ta, and it gets 1 beat. All right. So now we're going to talk about measures. Okay, so a measure, sometimes you'll hear me say a measure. A measure is broken up by bar lines or lines. So this is 1 bar line. This will be 1 measure, 2 measure. As you can see, there are different lines. 3rd measure. This will be the 4th measure. All right. So what would this one be? Our 5th measure, correct. So this will be our 5th measure. What about this? 7th measure, good. And this one will be our 8th measure, very good. So you just want to count in order, but also look at the lines. All right. So here are our different notes that we just learned today, B, A, and G. B, A, and G. So now you already know those notes that you can get started on hot cross buns. So with a hot cross bun, how I like to do it with my my beginner 5th grade students, you're going to look at the note. And as you can see, the note is on the 3rd line. And if you remember, our 3rd line is every good boy. So since you know it's B, I would put a B on top. So I don't have a pencil right now on me, but I will put B on top. Let's move on to cross. It's on the second space if you're looking. Second space. So what is that? A. Very good. So you put A above this note. This is to help you out as you're playing. And then next note is on the second line. Will be a G. Very good. So you'll put a G above. So the first three notes is B, A, G. Again, it's a half note. So a half note gets 2 beats. Now with a half note, you don't have to go just because it has 2 beats. You're hold it. So it's going to go ta. Listen. All right. So that is how that'll go. All right. So if you look, this is the exact same thing as this. So you can put B-A-G, B-A-G. Now let's talk about what this is. Down here, if you look down, it says half rest equals 2 beats of silence. So this is a rest and it gets 2 beats of silence. So you'll say, let's do it together. Let's sing it together. B, A, G, rest, rest. B, A, G, rest, rest. Okay? So I want you to sing it first and then do it in your head. So how I like to normally do it is you can use your recorder as you're looking at the hot cross buns, and I'm going to finger it. So remember when I said finger it, we're not making sound through the recorder, just you're going to finger it and say the notes. So it's going to go B, A, G, rest, rest. B, A, G, rest, rest. So I want you to practice that first line if you can, but also I want you, if you want to move on to the second line, that'll be awesome. And once you get that and feel comfortable, again, you can send me a video via Schoology, okay? So I'm going to end this video now. Hopefully you enjoyed our first recorder lesson because I did. I'm super excited to get some of you guys' videos. I know y'all are going to do awesome with this because y'all have been excited since y'all were in 4th grade. So I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully you have your hot cross buns. If you do not, I will actually try to post a screenshot of hot cross buns on Schoology so you can actually look at it if you didn't receive a folder, okay? So, all right, guys, I will see you next time. Bye.